Good morning all, hope you're doing well. So I just quickly looked at the QDB ranking and I looked at the failure rate. The failure rate is going to be low because it's still early. It's okay, but the QDB ranking is unusual in so much that we have positive scores here, but negative results. So either this is not going to be correct, or we're going to see a reversal. So you could potentially look for longs for these pairs up here, look for shorts down here. However, what we should be seeing is if it's got a good score, we should be quite nicely positive. You can see that we're actually negative on some of these, which is unusual. So just worth considering that the fact that we might see a reversal, potential, and or we should see continuation really. So that we just saw a filtering out there. So dollar yen has crept up. Can you see how that popped higher? Positive. So you should be looking for longs on these ones, looking for shorts. AU down there. So that's of note. Okay, look how long they are, and so we should be negative, right? That's how the logic works. And then you could be looking for the DP, which is your daily pivot, to break higher, and then that can be your support. Okay, so that would be a tick in the box. If I was to trade the dollar, the Kiwi CAD, look, if I was looking for a long, I'd want it above the daily pivot. Once that goes green, I could look for longs. Just something that I spotted, some analysis that I spotted first thing in the morning was that there's quite a lot of red up here, which would be unusual. We should see a lot of green up here. We should see red down here for the fact that it's got a poor score, so it should be performing badly. And these have got a good score, so we should see good performance. Should in speech marks. Okay, let's look at gold. Bring that over. Double click, and right, so they're selling it, and currently these guys here are currently getting paid ever so slightly, and now this should hold. It's a punishment zone, so they sold it, so someone had to counter that trade, and by them selling it, it pushed price higher. So by them selling it again, we know we should be pushing higher because of that logic. There has to be an entity to take the other side of that trade. So if the dumb money, as I heard, are selling, we should be creating a zone. So it's assuming what happens next 20 minutes, next hour, 20 minutes, next couple of hours, we'll be creating the zone here, which then we'll have a double zone. So that will be a double support. But it's slightly interesting that we're falling here. So it could be like a ruse. If you were trading this, you'd want to keep an eye on 1955. We might just see a break of that box potentially. Okay, so be careful with this. Do note the yields all pumped apart from the 6 month. Right, it's because of the US yields rose higher and have been rallying. This is causing a little bit of pressure for gold. So this is why I do the US yields each morning, and we look at those. So this should be a support, and we'll create another support for gold, assuming that that they continue to sell it. S&P. And some of these indices are absolutely bonkers. They went long here, so we created the box. So this box is holding almost to the tick, which is really freaky. Look at that. We've got a double top, and we've got inverted head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Well, not really a double top because that would be the top there, but you get the idea how the zone held. And we map the top of that wick, and look at it, hit it almost to the dot. So we might fluctuate and go sideways. Technically, pretty bullish because we've got the inverted head and shoulders, and we are a buy at the big picture. If they sell it, we'll continue to pump, right? So that's S&P. So it could be fairly bullish as long as that neckline holds. So 4181 would be worth monitoring. A break of that neck, it might fall quite heavily, like a neck break. DAX, and so we created the zone which I mapped yesterday. So this is not necessarily them going long, but less shorts, because they went bearish here and they started selling it. Can you see? They started selling it in waves. There's another one there. There's another one and another one. And so this is like capitulation. They're selling it and they're just getting hounded basically. And then finally, absolutely slaughtered the sheep got slaughtered up here. It's really cruel. And so we created the zone. This is going to be a resistance zone. So 16266, 16300 area, and not necessarily go long, but less shorts. So we might fall because of that, and we will so extreme as well. 8%, so 92%. It was just crazy how bearish they were. Right, so they're getting less bearish because they're getting stopped out. So less bearish is actually quite bearish for us. So when they're more bearish, then it's bullish. Okay, so we have to think of it like that. There's some scenarios that we have to understand. So this potentially good resistance there, but I think this is less shorts, less bears, because we're less bears because they got stopped out basically, and this is one of the cruelest stop runs you're probably ever going to see, as traders. US 30, and then yeah, so this is Holden, which is fine. They went long, and then they went long again, and for a third time, 1, 2, 3. So this zone's probably going to hold. I wonder whether or not we're going to see a retest of this wedge, which would mean it would have to fall quite heavily. Yes, quite a heavy fall in order for that to seek support. So we've got a decent support here, and then a double support. So assuming that this breaks 33,000, say the round number, we might come on to the upper diagonal. So about 332, 750. All right, so it could get ugly, but we are going to be by the dip territory because of the sentiment. We're below 50%, so you're looking for buys as long as we're below 50%, and that's it. So our robot opened up quite a lot of trades. Well, not quite a lot of trades. It opened up a few trades yesterday, which is good because we have less regularity. We had dollar yen; they resulted in profits, but only small profits. So I've now double checked, triple checked the EA, the expert advisor, and it should lock in profits at 25 pips. Now, before it was locking in profit at 6 pips. So I'm not sure why, because I definitely changed the EA. I definitely changed the expert advisor. And now what's going to happen is that it should trigger at 25 pips, right? And it'll just go in 10, 1 pip trailing stop. So once it goes over 25 pips, it will then lock in the trailing stop, and it continues. We'll just lock in profit as it goes pip by pip by pip. All right. So this is yesterday's trades. GA was a loss, and we had lots of small wins. Now the fact that we had small wins was because of the trading stop settings weren't correct, and now they are correct. So these small wins will buffer that loss that we had. So that would be more likely 70p or maybe even a pound, depending on the performance and whether it continued to rally or dump. So we locked in a very small amount of profit because of the incorrect settings here, but that's now been rectified. And so we should see the profits overwhelm that loss. And also you could probably argue whether or not we want to be trading like a pair like GA, because it can be quite tricky and it's very, very volatile. It's a lot more volatile than dollar Swiss, for example. So we have to think about like a fluid dynamic SL, which is something that we're going to be looking at, over the next couple of weeks. So not too bad. Our profit would have been higher, but it's just incorrect setting here, which has now been fixed. And then I'll be back later for some analysis, and we'll see how we go with the signals. So that's it, really. So I'll speak to you guys soon. Don't forget to trade safely at all times and know where your exit is, and you should be fine. And I'll speak to you soon.